Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, I'm going to do my mock draft today, and from what I found, let's see. So, this is basically the TSN one, the Craig Budden version of their mock draft. I mostly agree with, but there's still some that I don't agree with. Let's see. So, I'm going to do my mock draft. I'm using the cap-friendly one, because it was one I found. I mean, the obvious one for first overall, we all know who's going first. That's not even up for debate. It's going to be Alexis Lafreniere. So, Lafreniere, sorry. I may not say all the names correctly. Sorry ahead of time. But the real question is who's going number 2. And for me, I see, with LA, I see a lot of influence from their assistant coach. I believe he's an assistant coach or is he assistant GM? I can't remember. He's one of there. But I think Marco Sturm's going to have a big part of it. I think they're going to take Tim Stützle. Because Sturm has coached him and knows him from the German national team. So I think that's who they're going to go with. Then that just leaves Ottawa obviously going to pick whoever's left over, which is Quinn Byfield. And from everything that I've read, everything I understand, I think Stützle is going to be a better now player, maybe better overall. But Quinn Byfield, it sounds like, and he's just turning 18 in like a month or two. So, or no, did he just turn 18? He may have just turned 18 actually. But he, from what I understand, he still needs a little bit of growth, like another year, and I believe he's in the OHL. So I think Ottawa's better off picking him because they're probably not going to be a good team next year anyways. LA actually looks like they're improved a lot. Where now that stays with them because they had a good end to the season this last season, but I think Stützle can come over and actually help him this year, where Byfield would be a year of waiting. And I think LA has a chance to at least make the playoffs possibly this year if they do what they did last year. So we'll see who ends up being the best out of the two, but I think they're going to go with Stützle in LA and Byfield in Ottawa. Now Detroit, now that it gets into the fun area, because a lot of people are saying, oh, Cole Perfetti, they're going to go for him. Oh, what about the defender in Drysdale? What about the amazing Patrick Kane-like Lucas Raymond? Or Raymond, I'm sorry. I forget that he says it differently. But for me, I mean, Detroit definitely needs offense, so I'm going to say Lucas Raymond. I mean, he's probably not going to come over this year. It'll probably be next year because they've already started their season over in Sweden. And I don't think they have from what I understood, they don't have a transfer ability unless the team approves it. And I don't see the team approving getting rid of someone like him, from what I understand. So probably next season after this one or mid-season if their season ends. We'll see. But for Ottawa, this is where I think people are not going to agree with me. And that's okay, because this is just my mock draft. It's not anybody else's. So I think Ottawa, based off of needs, I think they're going to go with Yaroslav Askarov. Or Askarov. One way or the other. I think they need a better goalie. I mean, they have a couple of guys down there who are coming up who could be a good starter and possibly a backup. But I think if they were to get Askarov, if he's as good as everybody says, and he ends up being as good as everybody says, he will be number one without doubt on that team. So, and they need a goalie, one that can help them. So I think he would be the best possible one. I mean, they could go for Drysdale, they could go for Rossi, they could go for Perfetti. Heck, they could go for Anton Lundell. I mean, a good two-way forward that they probably need anyways, too. But I think it's going to be Askarov. I mean, I hate taking goalies this early because goalies that go early don't always pan out. Kari Lehtinen. Sorry, not throwing any names out there. But, I mean, even Kari Lehtinen had a good career. He never won anything worth anything, but he won. He did win in the bigs, and he made it, and he played 400 games, or started 300 or 400 games for a goalie. That's still pretty good. So, who knows? I mean, Roberto Luongo was number 1 overall. He had a good career, never won a Stanley Cup, but he had a good career. So we'll see. And me, I'm a Ducks fan, so I'm biased on this pick. Everybody's saying, "Oh, go for Jamie Drysdale. You need defenders." And yeah, they probably do need defenders. But for me, my gut feeling on this pick says that they should not pass up Cole Perfetti. I know they have an abundance of young forwards, but you know what? You can use one of those young forwards and get a defender. That's not as hard. It takes longer to develop a defender. Nothing against Jamie Drysdale. From what I understand, he probably will be a good defender. But I think the Ducks would be better off picking a defender later than now. And Perfetti, I think, would be hard to pass up. I mean, I've heard comparisons of Steve Yzerman. With Getzlaf on the last year of his contract, getting towards the end of his career, he's like 35, 36 now, somewhere in there. If he isn't 36, he's turning 36. So, I mean, he's at the end. You got Trevor Zegras already. You got number 1 center there, probably. Cole Perfetti could be an amazingly good second center. Heck, he could even possibly pass Zegras. Who knows? He could even play on wing with him. I don't know. He could. Centers can switch to wings. That's the amazing things about him. Compared to a winger switching to center is like nails on a chalkboard for them. So we'll see. But if he is available and the Ducks pass on Perfetti, that would be extremely idiotic in my opinion. I cannot see any reason to pass that up at all. All right, now New Jersey. I don't see them at this point passing up Jamie Drysdale. They need a defender. I mean, you can go with Jake Sanderson or Jamie Drysdale. I think New Jersey needs a puck-moving defender. Jake Sanderson's a good stay-at-home defender. He would be great at that area. He's not a huge offensive upside. He has the possibility, I'm sure. Anybody could turn on the Jets and become amazingly good sometimes. I mean, you get surprised. But I think Drysdale is the best option for them. And then Buffalo. They need offense, defense, goaltending. What don't they need? I mean, having Rossi would give them good secondary scoring. Offense, I mean, I think he's more of a playmaker than a goal scorer. Holtz will give them goals, but he can't come over this year. He's the same situation as Raymond. He's under contract over in the Swedish league, and they have to have approval from the club, I believe, to come over. So I don't see them getting that approval at this point. Lindell's a good two-way center. Jack Quinn's a goal scorer. Sanderson's a stay-at-home defender. I think that'd be kind of stupid to pass up on Rossi. So I'm going to go with Rossi for Buffalo. I think that's a good pick for them. Be a good number 2 center behind Eichel. I don't think they have any because Middlestad does not look like he's going to pan out. But he could turn around. Never know. And he could play wing anyways. So I think Rossi would be a good one for their second line. Minnesota, I have a feeling with Mikko Koivu going, I think they're going to take Anton Lindell. Because they need that two-way center. And Mikko Koivu was the closest they had, really. And Lindell probably will be in there a year or two before he comes up from, I think he's either playing in Finland or Sweden, I can't remember. But I think that one is a perfect fit. I mean, it's hard to pass up on Holtz. They definitely need goal scoring. But that two-way center who can score, put in some offense, and just work as a shutdown on the penalty kill, I think that is more important for them right now. Where Winnipeg, they're going for Sanderson, I think. They definitely need defense. They got offense all over the place. And they still have a couple more offensive guys coming up. I think Jake Sanderson could help solidify their middle 2 or bottom 2. But I don't think he's going to be a top pairing, but I think they can get by with that. I think Sanderson will go there. Now, compared to my top 10, way off. See, they had Lafreniere, they had Byfield to LA, Stützle, then Drysdale to Detroit, which I can see that. Raymond to Ottawa, Sanderson to Anaheim. Ugh, God. Hey, they're going to take a defender, any offensive defender, not a stay-home guy. Cole Perfetti to New Jersey. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Anaheim should not pass on Perfetti. I think that'd be stupid. Either Perfetti or Rossi. I think they'd be dumb to pass on either of those. Lundell to Minnesota. Okay, accurate there. They have Seth Jarvis going there. And see, they have Askarov going here. And Gooley they have going a lot higher than I think he should be. I mean, Nashville definitely needs offense, so I don't see them passing on Holtz. Florida definitely needs offense and defense. Between Quinn and Jarvis, I'd say they go for Jack Quinn. And Toronto needs a defender. They need defense. They have offense that never ends, but they need a defender. And I think Braden Schneider. I mean, yeah, I go with Braden Schneider. I think he's the best defender available at this point. Justin Barron, I believe he's the one who was injured most of the year, so I don't think they go with him. But I could be wrong. I mean, they could go with any of the defenders. They could go with Gooley, but I don't think he should be going this early, personally. And Edmonton, that's a tough one. I mean, Gunler's a big guy, and they are trying to be more physical. Jarvis, from what I understand, is one of the better ones, so I'm going to say Jarvis. And Toronto. Toronto, that was Carolina's pick, not Toronto's at 13. Take those off, actually. Go back. Carolina, I think, would take Dylan Holloway. Sorry. And then Seth Jarvis still goes to Edmonton, I think. And I think now it's Toronto. Now Brandon Schneider. There we go. Montreal, I think it'd be hard for them to pass on Hendrix Lapierre. He had an injury-plagued year last year, I think half of this year. But I think it's hard for Montreal to pass on those French-Canadian players. That they love to pick their French-Canadians. Hometown guys, so I think they're going to go with Hendrix Lapierre. He's got a lot of offensive upside. He's had injury problems. That's the worry. But who knows? He could turn out really good. Now, Chicago, they got some aging defenders. And they have quite a bit of offense already. So I had this weird feeling they're going to go for defense. And I think they're going to take a chance on Justin Barron. Which, it could be high risk, high reward. I mean, he could end up being very good, but he could also end up being terrible and injured all the time. You never know. I mean, that could be any of these guys. They may not have a single injury to their career so far. Take one hit, boom, they're done. I mean, you never know what you're going to get. So, New Jersey now again. And what did I have them picking earlier? I had them pick Jamie Drysdale, defender. So I think they're going to go with offense this time. And I have a feeling they're going to go... I think they're going to go more with the size. I think they'll go with Noel Gunler. I think that'd be a good fit for them. Let's see, because they got two centers already. Having a winger definitely wouldn't hurt them. Calgary. Ooh. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what Calgary really needs. And there's 4 defenders, because I think Andre. I think maybe they'll take a chance on John Jason Paterka. I mean, they have him all the way down like the 40s, but over here they have him at like 28, and I think he'd be good fit for them. He can play all over the place. Like I said, this is just my picks. I mean, there's other guys they could go for. Actually, no, not him. Do Connor Zary. I think that'd be a better option for them. And then we got New Jersey again. I think they'll go with. I think they'll go with another forward here. Maybe hit Dawson Mercer on this one. Columbus. They need offense, big time. I think they'll go Jan Mysak. I'm not sure. Rangers, they already got Lafreniere. You got a forward, go for the defender. I think they're gonna hit. I think it's pronounced Jeremy Poirier. And let's see, Philly. Philly needs offense and defense. Now, do they go for Gooley, Wallinder? They go for forward. I think Philly may take a shot at Brendan Bryson. I think that'd be a good fit for them. He can play all three offensive areas, so I think he'd be a good pick for them. Washington, I think they're going to go for Russian Rodion Amirov. Picking more Russians, trying to make Ovechkin feel at home, so he decides to stay a few more years. I think that may be their ulterior motive with this one, and from what I understand, he's a good offensive prospect. So now Colorado, I think this one may be different, but I think they had good luck with someone named Bork in the past, so I think they're going to go for Maverick Bork. I mean, they have a good all-around team. I mean, I don't know how Colorado lost this year to Dallas, but they did. I mean, Dallas was a good team too, but Colorado must have had some injuries because they had, on paper, they should have been a better team. St. Louis, I think they're going to lose Pietrangelo. I think they're going to go for rebuilding defense. Now, does that mean Gooley? Does that mean Wallinder? Does that mean O'Rourke? Wallinder's the bigger guy, but there could be problems. Gooley, I think, is the better one of the three. As much as I'd like to see Gooley end up with his brother in Anaheim, I think they're going to go with Gooley. He's not Pietrangelo. You're not going to replace Pietrangelo, but he's a solid defender who can help out there, I think. So now for the Ducks at 27, I think they'd be dumb to pass on Wallinder. I don't think that'd be a good choice. I mean, there's also Andre. Sorry. I mean, I would not be sad if they went for Lucas Reichel either. I think that would be a good pick too for them. Having someone who can play all three forward areas, like having some more wingers, does not hurt. Or even John Jason Paterka. And there is a bunch of guys they could go for. Even Jacob Perreault. I wouldn't be surprised if they got him. But I think Wallinder, I think he's going to be a good defender down the line. I mean, I think he needs another year or two of coaching over in Sweden to solidify his game. But I think he will be up, and I think he'll be a solid, maybe 3-4. Maybe his best is 2 if it really goes well, but I think 3-4. Ottawa, what is this, third pick for Ottawa? Yeah, third pick. So they got Byfield, Askarov. I think they're going to go defense this pick, and I think they're going O'Rourke. From everything I understand, he's a good, solid defender. He's not super flashy offensively, but he puts in offense. And I can see them going for Andre as well, but they already have offensive defenders. I think they need a more rounded defender like O'Rourke. Vegas needs defense as well, but they also need offense because they have some aging guys now. I think they'd have a hard time passing on Jacob Perreault. But whoops. I just double picked there. My bad. Hold on. Scratch that. So I think Jacob Perreault would be a good option for them. Gives them a couple years of the veterans they got now. Then when those guys start leaving, or even after this season, after Stastny leaves, you got Perreault who could play possibly next year. Who knows? Maybe another year. If that's the case, that's the case. Dallas, they have a lot of older offensive guys. They also need... their defense is steady, but they probably wouldn't hurt getting another one. But I think they're going to go for a forward, and I had this weird feeling they're going to go for one of the two Germans. Reichel's the taller, but Peterka is the heavier of the two. I think John Jason Peterka, I think, is who they'll take. And San Jose, they need defense. I mean, they need everything. They just looked like a wreck this year. And this one's tough because now you got a whole bunch of guys who could go anywhere. I guess Ty Simulanik, I think is how you say his name. That's who I'd pick. I mean, they could go for Andre Cormier for defense. They could go for Reichel even, or Shakir Luke Ameldulin. I think is how you say it. I'm not sure. I mean, he's a big defender. So, I mean, you can go with any of those. I mean, Zion Nyback probably won't be a bad one. Ridley, Gregg, or Thomas Borlow. I don't know how I have him dropping out, but he is. So, that's what I got. So, if you agree, go ahead and comment. If you disagree, go ahead and comment. Just keep it civil. That's all I ask. Because these things can get very, very intense. So, that's just my opinions. So, we'll see what really happens. And who knows? I'm looking forward to tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, I believe it is. So, hopefully it's a good day. And who knows what kind of trades there are, because that may affect some of these picks too, is if somebody makes a trade, because there's a lot of teams that need to make some trades here. So, we'll see. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, help me get out there. That would definitely help me, and I would thank you greatly. Otherwise, looking forward to the draft tomorrow and then free agency, I think on Thursday or Friday. I'll make a video for that too, probably the end of that day, and see what happens. All right, everybody. Also, once we have news on when or if there is a season next year, I'll put that out there. So I'll see you next time. Hopefully you enjoy, and I'll put a roundup of the draft tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Have a good one, everybody.